5 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Kristen, would you call the roll, please?
Dave Burris,
Here.
J.R. Huddleston,
Here.
Deborah Johnston, Bill Lukens,
Here.
Larry Pratt,
Here.
Frank
Present.
Romy, Gary Telkamp,
Here.
Linda Barbell.
Here, I think.
Thank you.
I have a pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Standing orders, conflict of business, please let someone know. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve waiving council day for the special meeting?
I make a motion to waive the council pay for special meeting.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public with us tonight. So I've asked communication from the public. So that brings us to the second night of the 2027 budget discussion. Misty, would you bring us home?
Yes. We're starting the second night off with a little over $229,000 as a deficit in our general fund. I think the plan is to come back to the police department. We have some updates to share. So that is on page 7, if you're following along, in the Banyan budget expenditure worksheets. Then we'll talk one more time about the donations in the general fund, and then hopefully close up general fund discussions unless there's anything else anybody else wants to go back to. Then we'll have the 602, 604, 620, and 621, and we can call it a night once we get through those. Yeah, we'll go back to 212 if there's changes to what, did we have updates on anything? So the subsidies, the subsidy in 621 could change to 212, and we'll go back to that if needed. But I didn't think that we left anything that we had to go back to in that one unless somebody else wants to go back to it. So police department, and then I don't know if Mayor or Ariel, if you want to start us off with the changes, or you want me to just take that, or?
I'd like it if you did, because Ross didn't give me a copy of the numbers.
Okay. Mary, okay with that?
Yes.
We had talked about a new vehicle for the police department, and Ross had done some checking today, and there is a Silverado pickup at Beck Motors that is available with 2026 pricing now. They don't know yet. I know that's one of the things he shared in his emails and discussions with each of you, what 2027 pricing on a new vehicle is going to be, but they're estimating 5 to 8% increase. He shared numbers on a Silverado where the base cost would be $46,259. Now that doesn't include the upfitting, which we estimated at about $8,000. But we'd have to put in that order this year. If we're gonna cash apply, I guess in my opinion, it doesn't matter if we do it this year or next year, and if we can save some money, similar to the mower discussion we had in the Parks Department, it makes more sense to do it this year. The other vehicle that he would be tickled pink to receive that's available at Beck Motors would be a Tahoe, but the base cost of the Tahoe is a little less than $10,000 more, so about $53,062. So he didn't know if the Tahoe was an option. The truck is what he was looking to budget for next year, and with the 2026 pricing, it's more attractive to just do it this year. And the way he'll order it, they have the truck available, but you order the components you want, and it takes about 30 to 60 days to get it anyway. So he said that we could remove the vehicle from this year's budget if you approve using cash applied to get it this year, 2026, and then he would upfit the vehicle with the 2027 budget that he'd have available, because probably be getting the vehicle around first question, because then we have one more item for changing in the police department, is how you feel about moving forward with the purchase of this vehicle. If we identified a need for it this year, cash applying the budget to do that and potentially saving 5 to 8% or more on cash applying to buy it next year.
Seems silly to leave $5,000 on the table.
Everyone agree with that?
Well, I want to go back to my three-pronged stool, and we need to discuss whether there's a need,
Okay.
or is this just one?
I thought we kind of discussed that the first night, that's why we left it
I
in
mean,
there.
I guess
We
I
had-
must have missed that discussion.
Yeah, and we can have it again if you'd like, but I think the emails and the conversations that the police chief had with all of you justified the need. But
Well,
we-
essentially, we should be getting them a new vehicle every year because with the rotation of 8 vehicles, the oldest is probably over 8 years now because we haven't gotten a new vehicle.
2014 is the one they're looking for.
14. So that's 14 years old, yeah.
He told, I'm sorry,
Well, that's 12 years old.
So,
So, yeah, so the rotation and the mileage, just for maintenance purposes, is just something that we should be doing.
And we lost 2 years in rotation.
Right.
he told me that he could save some money by using the old equipment.
you would prefer not to, but yes.
We've had troubles with them trying to, with the wiring and jimmy rigging and using the baling wire.
What's the Jimmy rig?
We can address that
You
once
know
we
Jimmy?
determine whether or not we agree with purchasing the vehicle this year and taking that out. Then we can talk about the upfitting if you'd like, because that, we would leave that 8,000 in the 2027 budget to pay for the upfitting of the new vehicle we buy this year if we agree to that.
How much is that pickup? 60?
46,259 would be the base cost.
8,000 makes it 54,000 versus the 84,900.
75 was actually the total, because there's some other stuff in there. Yeah. But I would
That's
take,
20,000.
I would take out 67,000 from that 75 figure, and you could get one this year for 45,260, and I would leave 8 in there for the upfitting that he planned for either
Now,
year.
the upfitting you're talking about, is that getting the police package, like the heavy-duty alternator?
This is already the police package.
Okay.
For the vehicle only. The upfitting includes the labels, logos, whatever, sirens, body cameras, center consoles, cage, body cameras, I didn't mean that, dash cameras, all of those kind of radios, all of those kind of components, the things that hold the computer in there.
Good.
And we just reiterate what was said here, Adam. I think the chief has done a good job of justifying the purchase. It's not a want. We have not purchased a new vehicle, budgeted a new vehicle since he's been chief. We have bought one on insurance money, and we bought a used one, a used vehicle for the Kansas State Patrol. And it has been said, with a fleet of 8 and the way we're using them, if in my belief, if we don't start replacing a vehicle almost every year, then we're gonna be replacing 2 vehicles every year, which is gonna hurt. Then we're gonna start making uncomfortable cuts. So it's not, I don't believe it's a lot. Is it not?
Well, this is just the kind of discussions I want to have. We owe to the public, the next stool, Lake, is, are there any alternatives? There probably aren't any other alternatives, so we can maybe just
Yeah, and
put
just-
that leg on the stool. The next question is, are we at the point in the budgeters, can we afford it?
We're cash applying for it. It would come from the general fund. The current unassigned balance in the general fund is over $4 million, so an expense of $49,000 for a new car is something we can afford at this time.
Then I'd say my question's been answered, we move forward. But you understand why I want to ask these questions.
Well, you know, years ago, we did something really stupid by buying a used car, and I don't know who bought it from down in Florida, and we ended up almost giving it away, and we paid a lot of money for it, because they did not go look at it. And then at least this one's brand new.
And
Well-
that $8,000, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. That $8,000, that's stickers, lights, the whole 9 yards, that's everything.
Yeah, and that's a good, like, he was trying to overestimate or make sure he had enough in that estimate. He's not gonna spend more than he needs to if there's something, can't reuse graphics probably, but
No, he doesn't, he's very good with his budget, he's,
So what do
It
we,
is good, it's very light. Is this a 4-door vehicle?
I'm sure it is,
it's
it's so
probably
proud
a
of
quarter pickup.
Well, how do you put someone in the back seat?
Yeah, if it's not.
You
Or
guys-
opening doors, no suicide doors.
Okay, because the reason why I asked that question is you're not gonna be able to transfer, so you're gonna need a cage that goes in there. So is that included?
That's part of the upfitting, I think.
I don't think so, I think it has it in,
Here, look,
according to what he told me.
So where is Beck Auto located?
here,
Here.
Well, I just want to say that, Bill, to your point, Tom, to your point too, and
It's a good place.
Craig's point,
this front.
Yeah, so-
30 years, since I got on council, it seemed like at that point, we were always playing catch-up with the police force, trying to outfit them, trying to do this, trying to do that. Now that we've got Ross in there,
This is the next
you know, I think he's doing a great job, and we're doing a lot better with the police force than we did before. So I'm just my thoughts.
And to Craig's point about the vehicle that we took a hit on.
Right.
The reason we took a hit on it is we were having the same conversation about why would we buy a new vehicle if we can go out and get something less expensive. It was acknowledged that we needed a vehicle, we just didn't want to spend, a new vehicle, so we said, okay, we'll try it, we'll see if we can find a used vehicle that will meet the need. And for a number of reasons, that didn't work.
Is the 14 the one that we put the engine in from that lemon?
No, the 14 is a Ford Explorer with low miles that the chief, before the chief had as a primary vehicle, and it's kind of rotated around. Our plan with that one, if this works out, is to take all the graphics off and all the components we don't need out, and then use that as a city vehicle, which we've discussed at budget meetings years ago, the need for something, but having something reliable enough to send an employee to Rapid to pick up something or to Pier for a training. Because what we did have at the time, like the yellow truck and the Astro.
what about the van, yeah?
Yeah, those weren't reliable, so nobody would drive them. No, for driving around town, they were fine, you're right. But we
Crown
would use
Vic.
that,
Crown
instead of
Vic,
selling
you
it
use
for
that.
$700 at an auction, we would try to repurpose that within the city to allow employees that had some travel, if they didn't want to take their own car, to have an option.
Or would code enforcement mean if he's all over town?
Yeah, I think he's fairly happy in his truck, but it could be used by a number of different employees for various reasons
Just to
like that.
reinforce the discussion, do you know what we've been spending on the 14 as far as repairs?
I'm sorry I didn't gather that, I'm sure the police could tell us that. It's not highly used, so I don't think it's needed a lot of repairs. I think it's pretty solid, it's just the mileage is getting up there and it's old.
Like 60,000.
I think it's closer to 100, but I think it's still under
I think it's at
180.
Right around it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna use that as a trade-in?
No.
Or are we gonna try to?
I just got done explaining we're gonna try to repurpose that within the city to allow others that don't have options currently for a city vehicle to either take it to go get parts or run and check on a property somewhere or not use their own
All
vehicle.
the
That-
stickers and everything.
That'd be fun, the sirens and.
You don't want me driving around in this top car.
So it sounds like we're all in agreement, and so what I did to the machinery and equipment budget, the 434 in the police department that was at 84.9, I lowered that to 17.9. I left in, and this isn't where we pay it out of, the upfitting probably come out of somewhere else, but I left in 8,000 for the graphics, radio, radar, camera, and upfit estimate. But I removed 67,000 of that, which was the estimate of the purchase of a vehicle next year. And then, as a future council, we'll discuss either at the next meeting or the following meeting, since we already finished the agenda, the appropriation for this year to allow the purchase of a vehicle this year.
So change 84.9 to 17.9?
Yes, ma'am. The 17.9 then covers the 6,900 for the new workstations, the data storage of 2,250, the vigilant security system at 750, and the 8,000 for graphics for the new car, or not just graphics, upfitting for the new car. The other item of discussion, did you want me to take that one too, or did Mayor Ariel want to talk about that? We had talked at length in admin finance and then Tuesday night about the cameras, the car cameras and Axon and a 10-year agreement with them. We have a consolidated, and by consolidated I mean including the tasers, the body cameras, and the car cameras all together in that 10-year contract would change our annual payment to $35,800. We would be on the 5th year for the tasers and the body cameras, but we can't really let that expire after 2027. If we did, we're out the storage capabilities and we'd need to get new ones anyway.
It's
So
no
if-
longer supported.
It's
right?
no, thank you. So if we combine all of those, then for 10 years, we're gonna get new every couple years. Tasers, new body cameras every 5 years or as needed if they're damaged. It comes with the software or the storage that saves the information that's required in the event that they need it for any evidence.
The cloud.
And it includes the car cameras, and we could do all that for $35,800. So I would change that $33,515 to $35,800, and then we're not talking in 2028 about what we're gonna do about tasers and body cameras. We would have all 3 of those in one bundled package for the next 10 years fixed at that price.
And deal with one particular outfit.
Yep.
And as any upgrades would come along, like for instance, car cameras, we would automatically get a brand new car camera for each one of them as the upgrade. And if there were changes to that with storage to the cloud, that would all be in there.
It'd be all updated automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, tasers, the whole bit, any upgrades, it would all be done.
That makes more sense to me.
And how many units are we looking at?
10 for the body cameras, so 2 extras for if one goes down, 8 for the in-car cameras, and it's all the components associated, and then 10 for the tasers?
I thought it was 8 for the
Maybe 8 for the
tasers. It's hard to
tasers.
tell looking at that
Yeah.
quote.
Why do we need 10? I think, would 5 be sufficient?
No, we have 8 officers, and everybody has their own, they don't share them.
And the reserves.
Well, you know, when I
And we
grew
have
up,
2
3 of us
reserves.
shared one bicycle. Why can't we share?
You don't know, you may call out all the officers on an incident.
And then you'll have,
And they have to be charged, so they can't just be continuously used. They have to be plugged into their download, whatever. When they take them off and they charge them, all the data from them is downloaded for each individual. Or you're just asking these questions just to ask them. Yes,
Well,
tasers
are you all
record
comfortable with this?
and
I'm a little bit uncomfortable
distribute
with
data
that.
at the end of their
It's
use.
clear.
When
You don't
they
share
plug in,
weapons.
when they charge it, because if it
You don't
doesn't
share
work, you need
magazines.
to know
Why
that.
couldn't you?
So my understanding is all of
Gary, I'm not
those.
even gonna answer that question. That is a silly question.
Is it?
It is. These are individual pieces of equipment. They're safety for the officer, they're safety for the city. They are individual pieces of equipment. You don't share vests.
I can understand.
they're fitted, by the way,
So it's 8 tasers.
to the officer.
It is 8 tasers
Yes.
and 10 body cameras.
We have
and
had,
8
let me, I will honor your question. We have had incidents where we have called out every officer to do searches, to do potential active shooter situations where if you have to have those cameras available for each and every officer, because we may have them on duty for a single incident. So, yes, they are absolutely necessary for every officer.
Well, I'm going to withdraw my question, though. I don't think it's a silly question. I think think it was a question that needed to be answered, I appreciate your answer.
So, sorry if I reacted a little
It was,
bit, but
yeah,
I
well,
think
when,
you got triggered.
I think I got triggered.
It was the police
I did.
department, so we were kind
what's
of
that?
fond of the police department.
Yeah, I understand. But it was a question, I think, that wanted being asked.
So my question for you, Gary, would be, how did you see them share it? How would it be?
I don't know.
And how would it be handed off from you to Craig when you end your shifts? When you leave your home for a shift, Craig leaves his home for a shift. How do you hand off only one of the tools that you're using during the shift? Just trying to understand.
It was just a question, I appreciate the answer.
When I was reserved, they had to share radios, and they were at the station, we'd pick it up as we, I could see his point, but I know Bill's point, so.
And council has moved away from shared equipment to equipment per officer. So that if they're responding from home, they simply go out, they get in their vehicle, they've got their pack and everything, and they respond. They don't have to go down to the police department to pick up something that was turned in for the officer that left duty.
One question, Misty, the quote that Axon sent, there was an opportunity, and I didn't totally understand what I read, so I'm looking to you for guidance.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. The mayor and I talked about this earlier. So
15,
had they already approved the 2027 budget, it would have been a really nice offer. But they were offering to not change our lease payment for 2027 and just put that at the end, so it'd really be 11 years. I don't see any reason. We have not budgeted for 2027 yet. You already are obligating 10 years of future councils to this payment, adding a year to the end of it. They don't charge us any interest, so it's really not about interest savings in this conversation, but from my opinion, if you haven't budgeted yet, if it's what you're agreeing to do for the police department, we'll get them in 2027, we should start paying more of it.
Okay, thank you.
So that figure, when I talked to Ross today about my opinion about that, kicking it down the road a little bit, I can see if we were in the middle of 2027 and we didn't want to change our budget, and that was really nice of them, they were going to upgrade our equipment and we were going to do this and they were going to save us from having the increased cost till the next budget, but you have the time and the ability to make the decision right now. So we took the 10-year total cost and just divided it by 10 payments, so that's where we came up with the 3580 figure. Thank you.
35.8 or 35.80?
35,800.
Thank you.
And thank you for the question, because that was an option, so.
And there were a lot of numbers on those.
There were, yeah. So with those two changes to the police department budget, I'm at $1,063,402, so 1,063,402.
Right this time.
We're missing a number. It should be 1,600,000, what?
No, 1,063,402.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Dad, you almost had me write down the wrong thing.
It's an 82 rate.
402? What are you saying, Larry? I don't-
President, he said write it down.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
82 rate.
So with those changes to the police department budget, now our general fund sits at a deficit of $164,950 in total. I went through and I did what Bill was talking about often during our conversations Tuesday night, and I took the 3 budgeted items that we have in 26 that we're not planning on spending and putting in 27, and the budgeted items that we consider to be one-time, and I come up with 189,250 of those types of items. So really, if you wanted to take those out of the calculation, you're not really at a deficit. Some of those things were like the improvements to the park, the upfitting of the vehicle, the server, the council laptops. Those were the kind of things that I just identified as items we're going or have planned to do in 2027, but are not recurring, ongoing, increasing expenses.
It's a one-off.
And so,
Does it say we can go home now?
well, no, because you still got some other funds to do that too, but if you're all okay, we started at a $560,000 deficit in the general fund before we started visiting with department heads. To get it down to 165-ish, and know that about 189 is of stuff that is a one-time purchase that we're choosing, I think that's,
So we'd be 25 in the positive at this point-ish.
with reasonable revenue, or conservative revenue projections and reasonable expense projections.
It's been said Tuesday night, and I just want to say it again. What Ariel and y'all and the department heads did has made this, I mean, you left this really nothing to cut. I mean, you made the hard cuts and spoiled us this year.
I agree, but I also agree that you individually sat down with those department heads and says, here's where we gotta go, what can we do to get there? And the consecutive agreement between all of them, you guys did a marvelous job, absolutely, you can't ask for it. Makes it easier,
Yeah, I don't know.
makes it so much easier for us to,
Thank you. Just know there is already a list of things started for 2028
2028.
and beyond.
there's the road.
Well, thank you for that. So are we ready to move on from the general fund then? Did you want to look at the 212 fund before we get through the other enterprise
Are
funds?
we
or
sure that
come-
we didn't leave nothing on the 212?
Well, the only thing that I was thinking you could come back to it for would be the Evans Sponge subsidy if that changes. So maybe we should get through those.
I guess I just didn't unhighlight some of these numbers, but that was probably what we did talk about.
Yeah, so we put 300 road repairs, phase 1 Kidney Springs stairs with no grant, 240, the AIP, and then the 198 for Evans Sponge is really all that's in there. The concrete crushing, we talked about at length.
So the big one was whether to do the steps or not, essentially. And we really can't not do them, so
We need to
kicking that
start.
can down the road.
The cash applied for the 212 fund right now is $69,702. So, and we have, I think I mentioned, a little over $4 million in that fund as well. So, the next one, I guess, would be water.
What page is that?
602, and that would be, way further back here. Yeah, so that
32?
starts on 32, and goes to 33.
Water fund, you said?
Yes.
Wastewater?
Water first, 602 water, page 32 and
Close to 33.
33. It's a 0.84% decrease in salaries and wages, not sure how that worked out, but that's where it is in our estimates.
Why did we decrease their salary?
We didn't decrease
Oh.
anybody's salary, but
It sounded like you said we did.
in
We've got
our
a full-
estimates.
We've got full staffing there now.
Yeah, we do, yep. Services and fees is one that has some additions. We will need an electrician to install the new meter at the fill station. We're estimating about $3,000 in addition to the regular charges that we have coming out of that code. We also have $4,000 budgeted for water tank repairs.
4,000 for the inspection of the 1 million and the 2 million gallon tanks, and then another 20 for any repairs or cleaning that are needed to those tanks. This is something that should be done every 3 to 5 years. It is critical.
It's critical because we haven't done it in
Right.
how many
The
years?
last time we budgeted to do it, no one would go in because the stairs or the ladder was inadequate.
We talked about that in
So-
budget, we budgeted for stairs and.
Right, so has that changed?
The stairs are done now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we did?
I think so. Should I clarify that?
Well, it looks like we're ready to inspect and clean them again, so I'm gonna guess, you can check
Yeah,
on
I guess
it,
that's
but-
the impression I got from this conversation.
Did we drain them to do that?
I think it depends on if there's repairs needed. I think they clean it
It'd be
full.
one at a time, I believe.
So that's the big change in there, and the word critical stood out to me. I can't remember. I know, like you, Dave, I remember talking about, nobody would do it because we needed to repair the stairs, and so this seems like the next step. Building repairs and maintenance, we have re-shingling the shed at the 2 million gallon tank, the tower system. Technology is there, and I put in my memo for Monday night that we've added about $138,000 of technology to that shed. So we added it to our insurance to ensure if something happens, we're covered.
$424,000.
You're talking about sewer water reclaiming.
Yeah, I'm looking at building repairs and maintenance right now, $4,000. And that area, we had a conversation about our guys thinking that was too much to pay somebody. Did you have
Yes,
a
so
follow-up conversation?
after our re-shingling of the Evans pump house, after the windstorm, our guys said that was ridiculous, we could have done that ourselves.
We had insurance money for that though, so we didn't get too worried about it.
I think it's likely that if they have time, they will do this themselves.
Misty, I'm totally lost. Where are you, what?
602, and then
602 water fund.
building repairs and maintenance is 42520. It's right under vehicle repairs, which is $5,000, and then it's the 4,000 right under that.
I'm looking on.
Are you on
that
Excel?
602 water fund. I'm on the computer. I don't see building fund, unless I'm just not.
There's blue
12
writing.
12 lines down.
It's higher.
Thanks.
I don't see it.
Line 14 on mine.
Recovery of prior year expended principal.
You're in revenue. We're talking expenses tonight. Yep, sorry. There you go, that's the right one. Now it'll be easier to follow along if you get to water.
So it's.
It's always harder with somebody standing over your shoulder.
Paying the big bucks.
No, not
It
really.
is for me.
That's all right, they didn't help me, so.
Okay, there goes.
Okay, that one.
And
When
where-
you said 602 water fund, I was like, well, wait a
Scroll up a
minute.
little
Okay,
bit.
yeah.
Go to line 14.
4,000 re-shingle shed, that's where we're at. Since everyone this year has been through it before, I'm just not spending as much time explaining how we're estimating things like salaries and wages, because y'all know that,
We
so.
could ask more questions.
Yep,
They could all be coming from the.
so the 602 fund is in a deficit. Is that something we want to lower? Or do we want to leave it in there?
We could lower it with the expectation that our guys do it ourselves. I'm just not confident in a number on what materials would cost.
You were talking about the $4,000? I would be willing.
You talking about shingles and stuff?
On a
Price of
shed.
oil going up, yeah, you can pay a lot for shingles.
Okay.
I would leave that alone personally.
Okay. We have a $161,612 deficit in our water fund right now. I should have started with that, but. Equipment repairs and maintenance, you know, historically, we've been all over the place. There is no contingency for these funds. They have to use their own available cash reserves. I'm not sure it needs to be 10. You're gonna be working on deficits, so you tell me. If you said you wanted 4 to stay, I don't think equipment repairs and maintenance.
We put 10 because 10 was what we budgeted in 26, but it has ranged from 3,000 all the way up to 12,000 recently, so
Yeah, it's
it
just,
kind of depends on what rates.
You're never gonna be able to maintain a budget price.
Yeah.
You're talking about,
we can adjust budgets as needed, but right now we're trying to balance budgets. So you're right, Dave, we'll never be able to perfectly.
but if you look in the past, you have, 24, you're at 61, then you went to 63, 25, 26, we budgeted 10.
We're at
We're at-
2,800 year to date,
Yeah, but we're only at 28%, and let's be honest, we're in.
July.
Yeah.
So I I do think if you were comfortable, I mean, you're gonna have to start cutting somewhere, or.
If you
I
wanted to
allow
cut
them
it down to
offset.
$6,000, I could see that, because then $4,000 is an easy amount to make back up.
I was
I gave you
thinking
3 crystal
6,000
balls.
too.
You gave me 3 crystal balls, I forgot them all.
Okay.
Okay, so
all
it
right.
sounds like 6,000, but we're still leaving the 4.
I would leave the 4, just for the simple fact
I
that if
wish
it's
I-
wind damage, you don't know if you're gonna end up, just
Well,
might
if
be just.
If it's wind damage, we'll have insurance money to help us, but we are re-shingling it on our own this time. And if I could show you a picture of this little vault shed, it's not big. Because I was just looking at it to add it to our insurance as a covered.
You get Larry to shingle it.
All you need
How many
is
squares
nails,
it's
you
gonna
need
take?
asphalt,
No.
hammer, tar.
No,
that
but
would be
our
better.
own staff
Not-
said
not
after we
afraid of
paid
hammer.
for the last
No.
one that was way too much, we could have done
If
it
you
a
want
lot
to cut
cheaper.
that in half, then have done it.
I mean, I leave it too, but we are cutting some.
6,000 now?
Yeah, I put 6,000 on equipment repairs, but we were just discussing the 4,000 again.
I got a question, oh, I guess we'll get
The
to
next
that.
one?
No, improvement other than.
Okay, we'll
Oh,
get
wait,
down there,
yeah.
yeah.
So are we agreed that the 10
It's
is
6.
6?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the 4, are we leaving it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I thought the 4 was 6. You have to make up my mind.
No, the 10 is 6, just maybe.
Okay, why don't I just do the,
Careful, JR's falling along.
The next one, street walk repairs and maintenance. Ariel, I'll let you take this one because you wrote your not urgent notes on it.
Yes, so we put in here an asphalt overlay for the, I guess you'd call it a driveway, it's not a road, but to the Hot Brook pumping station. We're estimating 175 tons at 40,000, this is not urgent, but it's just like we talked about road repairs, you know, you can overlay something to extend its life, or you can wait until it needs completely replaced.
I thought for
So-
past years, we wanted to overlay this parking lot, we wanted to overlay the Centennial Park parking lot, we've never talked about that one out there. So it seems like we should be doing the ones, I mean, these were supposedly dire.
It's all a need, I think it just comes down
go
to
to
money.
water department, have 4-wheel drives, make it gravel. Just goes down to the pump station and back out.
It could be gravel.
We have an asphalt zipper.
There's no level.
Ariel, I
When
thought
it
we
gets bad
had,
enough, it can be zipped.
Here's the thing, we
we
just
had some
discussed,
work done here, didn't we?
This has been crack sealed.
Correct, okay, correct.
Still,
we just discussed crushing all the cement and everything.
That could be moved out.
We are, you know, again, even with those little
Yeah,
changes,
I
we're at a
think this
deficit
is
of
an easy cut.
157,000. If it's not urgent, this looks like low-hanging fruit to me.
I would say, we've already discussed the fact of, like Ariel just said, you put gravel out there, and if we're gonna be crushing cement, there's gonna be some good gravel right there that's already in our backyard.
0?
0.
So 0.
Huh.
Well, going to 0. Okay, it's 40. Okay, we budgeted 15 for this year, and we haven't spent anything. We're just wondering if there's other street walk repairs that would need to be done. So leave something in there.
Out by the hospital.
Typically, when they're doing repairs as the result of a water break, they put some of them off, and then they add them to our list when we do the big asphalt repairs, and they do pay for them when they're the result of a water break. They don't have a lot of walkways that they're responsible for, so I guess if there's something that they know that needs to be done with this 15, they should be making sure they're included in our soon-to-come request
I
for
believe,
bids.
should be getting them done right now.
Well, because it's over 100,000, we have to formally bid this.
11,500 of the 2026 asphalt plan is water.
So that'll take
Patching.
up their 15. Okay, perfect.
And until we breaks, we don't really know how much patching there will need to be.
So then 0 is the right amount?
It'll get us by.
Sewer repairs and maintenance, these would be emergency costs, standby materials associated with water line breaks, water delivery system component failures. It is an annual estimate, just like the other repairs. They just don't know. Out of their 80,000 budgeted for this year, they're about 24 25,000, so 31% spent year to date.
But remember, we're right in the repair season for this stuff. We don't really do a whole lot of these repairs.
And this was printed before 16th Street.
Correct.
So are we comfortable leaving that, or do we want to lower it and roll the dice?
Can we put it at 70?
Yeah, I think you can put it at even lower than that if you wanted. Then,
Unless we have a big water break.
well, and then the problem would be, we would appropriate from their available cash, and hopefully they would have the cash available. But right now, you're working on a $100,000 deficit still,
What if we
so.
took it down to 50?
We can always keep our fingers crossed. Hope nothing breaks.
What I
If it
suggested-
does, we'll address it when
We'll
it
have
does.
30,000 to fix it at this minute if we drop it.
I'm comfortable with 50, is everyone else comfortable?
60 a safer number?
I think 50 or 60, you're trying to cut a budget deficit, so I'm gonna go with the lower number, my recommendation, but obviously if something big happens, we're gonna have to address it.
Yeah, looking back to 2020, the lowest amount we have spent is 57,000, but we were also addressing all the main breaks on Main Street, River Street during that time. So it's also been as high as 148,000.
We should have one of those.
But I bet we didn't budget for all that, I bet we appropriated.
Yeah, those are actuals.
50, going once,
What's 50?
then 80.
We have a main break on Main Street, I hope I'm not wrong.
And if I am at the beginning of the day, I'm no longer at the end of the day.
So the 80's going to 50, is
Yes,
that correct?
yep, now we're looking at an $87,600 deficit. We have nothing for fence tool repairs, we have a small amount for supplies, clothing we've talked about at length that applies the
Can
same
we
way.
go
to-
back to fence?
You sure
I'd
can.
like to share with you that we budgeted $5,000 to contract out a fence, and our guys did it themselves and spent a little over 100 on this.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you for pointing that out. I do remember that story from just this week, so we should always highlight those kind of actions.
Do things.
They can.
If you're listening, good job, guys.
Minor tools, PPE clothing, I don't think there's anything to talk about there. Stop me if you want to. Purification,
Purification.
yeah.
How come their clothing went up $40?
We talked about the changes to the clothing earlier.
Just
That'd be why.
curious.
Okay, that'd be why.
Okay, are we stockpiling, how are we purchasing that?
Purification chemicals?
Yeah, the purification chemicals.
I don't know if we're stockpiling it or not.
Oh, we did 22,000 and 26,000 in 24 and 25.
If I'm not mistaken, chlorine's the only thing we add to our water.
Yeah, but we've spent more before, so I would agree if we sat down talking to them about this, they were comfortable with 20, but they spent 26,000 in 2025, and they're over 10,000 year to date, so what's gonna be different?
I mean,
I didn't know if we were stockpiling.
Yeah.
we're over
Which-
halfway through the year.
To be honest with you, sometimes is a very good thing, and sometimes it bites you in the butt, but for the most part, it usually does help.
So we're okay with the 20? I don't really see anything in the gas, oil, and diesel. There was some discussion about the employees going to shooter school, that's still in there. Telephone, I'm guessing, hopefully I'm right. Cell phone, we already have those in place. The next big one is improvement other than buildings, and Craig has some stuff to say about that. Though that 424,000 is the carryover of the 24,000 for the water backup generator, that FEMA grant, which we have but don't have, but like,
Well, we raised it 100,000.
wait, there's more, no, it was only 24, whatever.
We know that we are getting the FEMA grant, it's at the federal level, and there's no telling how soon that will happen. You guys budgeted 24,000 in 2026 to do the backup generator, but if it does not get done this year, we wanna make sure it gets done in 27. And then the other 400,000 of that is new mains from, on 14th, from Detroit to Library Drive. So that stretch along Butler,
And that's us doing the work, right? Or contracted?
It's only a couple blocks.
that's us, I believe.
I know, but boy, it's like paving a road. It is ridiculously expensive.
And yeah, that's mains and the replacement of the asphalt. That's it, it's one big project.
Is that what goes in front of the old armory or the other
No,
side?
the other side, 14th Street. The Armory is 11th Street.
Okay, I knew that.
So that
Check.
total of
Just wanted to see if everybody else did.
424,000, are we leaving that in?
424,000?
It's been kicked down the road, that 14th Street has been kicked down the road.
Is it bad? Like there's bad pipes in it and
Yep,
there's leaks
and,
and it needs?
we actually, we wanted to go further and we split that in half for the sake of cost. We also need to do from Albany to Detroit after the fact.
Which
And I was
probably
gonna
will be
say, I
about
thought we were supposed to
400,000.
do the whole block
And
from
like,
Camp.
unless we go to bid it out and it comes
We
in
can.
less and then we can do more of it, we, for now, are budgeting to split that in half.
But you're saying we're gonna do it ourselves?
I am not 100% on that.
How old are those pipes? How old? 30, 40,
We
50,
can
100?
send it out for bids and then decide.
I don't know the answer to that.
Not that it matters, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
But
that's in my ward.
the question
and
tonight
some
is,
of
do
the
we
old-
leave it in the budget
some
till
of the
then,
old
or do
people that
we
were living
put
on
it
there
in
and
after we
now
do
moved.
that?
Right.
Said that those
I think we should plan
were
for
prior to their houses being built in 1960.
It's been a while.
You're looking at probably 50 years, 60 years. That, and, you know, that's a shoot from the hip, because, like I said, that was a conversation with the folks that built those houses there, across from the park.
And really, the mains themselves are not the expensive part of this.
No,
It's-
it's the
It's
road.
redoing the road on top of it.
And the road is, really does need to be.
We got millions.
Misty, could we do 375 there instead of 424?
We could do any number. One of the things Deb was talking about, and I think she has a really good point, just to help prioritize it. We could take it all out, we could go out for bids, we could see how much it is, and then we could talk about the cash balance in the fund at the time and determine if we want to appropriate it or not. But it's probably important to get something in there for this project to identify its priority and let us not forget that that's what we're doing when a whole year passes or half a year passes and we're doing this again.
Should we just pull out enough, balance the budget so that it has its placeholder and then supplementally appropriate?
The only other place I see in the rest of this for you to take anything out would be in computer software, that Waterworth. Everything else is, I don't know what you're gonna do about it. We need a new fill station meter, because we have a problem with the meter. We'll be looking to give somebody some money back who keeps real good track because it's not working correctly, or had some problems that
Well,
are fixed now.
that was the one meter
Calibration.
that was not
Oh, it was
calibrated. But
calibration.
as these meters get old, they get less and less accurate, so we're giving longer away.
So that idea, Bill, might be the only
Maybe
thing left to
that's
help
accurate
you
in my house.
get out of your $87,600.
Accurate in my house.
Fill station meters do.
Is there anything wrong with doing that and then if it comes in at 400,000, then cash apply?
If we have it. I mean, I think that makes sense, to look, to go out for bids, to prioritize the project, to go out for bids, see what the bids, and maybe we try to do the whole thing just because of the costs associated with mobilization,
Right.
and then determine what we can do, looking at the cash balance at the time, which will be next year sometime, and the estimated cost of the project. I think that's a good idea.
So what do we need to balance it at this point?
Do we want to talk about Waterworth? In the computer software total, $3,552 in added new expense, increasing every year, annual related to projecting.
Well, didn't we talk about just doing 1 year and then seeing if it pans out or not?
Can you cancel after 1 year?
So we have two proposals. We have a 1 year or we have a 17-month, and they gave us the 17-month option, so it would end in December and start in January, like going forward, and wouldn't overlap weird with our billing years.
I think they're gonna save us money down the road. I think it would be money well spent.
So if we left that in there, if everybody agrees and we left that in there, we would change the improvement other than buildings total to $336,388, and we would balance to our projected revenues.
336 what?
388.
Yep, and then we'll try to find the money to fix it.
That sounds like a plan.
Thank you for the suggestion.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
$336,88.
Yep, from 424 to 336, 380. It's kind of a weird number, but I,
88.
did I? Oh, 388, that is the right number.
388?
Don't listen to me.
Listen,
I
don't
know.
listen.
If you do type that in, your bottom number would be 0. It'd match revenue exactly. Something else I'd like to talk about in this fund and the next fund, is you are facing right now the consequences of no capital replacement as part of our annual budgeting process. I get we can't fix that in a year, but if you don't want to be in the same boat when there's a water project that has to be done, kind of like the wastewater project that has to be done right now, we'll need to start thinking about budgeting with a profit so that capital replacement money can become available. Because this, doing it to 0 isn't giving us anything for the future. I don't think you can solve that right now, but I just wanted to mention that.
And that's one of the features that Waterworks talked about, was identifying projects in the future that you want to fund somehow, what it's gonna cost, and then looking at, how to generate the revenue and raise that.
But it's gonna cost you money to spend on the project to do that, and we can do that otherwise, but 1 year, it's not gonna kill anybody, we can see how it works. Maybe it's fantastic, and all of a sudden we can start budgeting all kinds of surpluses and be ready for projects. In the meantime,
And all of this will have a unicorn in
that
it.
$10,000 that could be spent on a project to be spent on the software and it's just.
Those are NAR whales.
So are we good to move on to 604?
What's the final number?
0. Oh, 0, we watched it all the way. $1,265,890.
1,265,890.
Sure did.
No? 1,265,890. Okay, wastewater's on the very next page. We have a small capital replacement availability currently, about $74,200 in profit showing with the projected revenue and the expenses that you have on this tab.
What are we in, Misty? I'm sorry.
Wastewater, 604.
604.
Yep,
Thank you.
very next one.
Turn the page, you'll see it.
I can't turn it in here.
One of the additions to note would be in services and fees. Did you get any more information about this supply operator from Vesco 9000?
So that was something we weren't typically budgeting for, but when something broke, we were finding ourselves paying $9,000 to send someone out there.
It's one specific piece of equipment we have that they work on, right?
Right.
Which one is
I
it?
believe,
Press.
I don't know that it's just one. I think we might have a few. It's not plant-wide, but it is specific electronic stuff that they need to work on.
And when they're like sole proprietors, and when
Yeah.
we need them to come, we have to pay their travel, we have to pay for their
Like
hotel, we have to pay for their
flights and
meals, we have to pay for their
hotels and
flight.
stuff,
It's,
yeah.
it's kind of like to get away from that if we get the new, not so complicated plan, we hope to not
Yeah.
have to do that. So that's something I'd point out. We have been promised that there will be minimum building repairs and maintenance expenses through reconstruction. So we shouldn't be planting any more trees or
15,000 for building repairs?
they are still functioning. and
Tearing the
operating.
darn thing down, why are we putting money?
Well, there's no plans to put any money into it. This is just a dollar amount for anything that might go wrong, which, let's look back. Some do. We're not looking to cut anything from this budget. You certainly can cut from that line item if you'd like to, but we have been told that there would be minimal maintenance throughout reconstruction.
This would be if HVAC goes down, if lighting goes down,
Sewer problems, which we seem to be having everywhere right now.
if.
Yes. So are we comfortable leaving that, or do we want to take it?
I would be-
Okay.
Where are we leaving, which one?
The building repairs and maintenance. I'm kinda gonna skip through, the sewer water repair and maintenance is up 10. Did you wanna say anything?
I highlighted equipment repairs and maintenance. I forgot to put my note there. You've seen it in a few others. If you guys do not do the jet truck, they would like more in equipment repairs and maintenance to keep the orange one functioning. If you guys do not go ahead with the new jet truck. They do not think 5,000 will be enough to keep that piece of equipment. So we can come back to that.
You have to get it running in the first place.
Well,
It's
Need
not
the
running.
tank
it's
put
a
on.
forever challenge.
Yeah.
Is this the proper place to ask, did everyone read the letter to the editor in this week's paper? It was again about
Not yet.
the other options to the
Treatment?
treatment plan, or at least, she shifted her planning a little bit, but doing the treatment in town and
Dumping in the river.
and still using Romies, but it wouldn't be the upgraded aeration and all that. It'd be
The
that.
state won't pay for anything that's not necessary, so they won't pay for anything to make it, you know, suitable to go to Gary unless it needs to be to go to Gary. So I think her idea has been get it clean enough to go in the river, but don't put it in the river. And they won't pay for that extra.
It wouldn't make any sense anyway.
I think we have to just poop and get off the pot. I think we have to just do what we're doing now and go.
Okay, equipment.
Yeah, that's not budgeted, but we will get to the jet truck in just a moment. There's not much else. They asked for 10,000 more in sewer water repairs and maintenance. Again, we're not trying to beat out a deficit here, so hopefully they don't spend it if they don't need it. But if you wanted to talk about that, we could. They put 5,000 more in purification chemicals. I can't wait until we're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars on odor control.
And if we could pause there for a minute,
Yep.
I'd just like you all to remember that $45,000, it will come up in a future conversation, not tonight, but remember $45,000 for purification equipment or chemicals. And I confirmed with Tracy that if council approves the new plant, these costs will go away entirely.
We already approved the plan. No?
We're still working on it.
So just
yeah, remember that.
the 45,000, it will come up in a future conversation.
45,000 for strawberry smell and poop.
I think it's cherry.
Terry.
Why do they always use food sources?
I know, I don't know. Travel and conference is down, telephone is down.
Travel is down because both of the employees
Have
were
their
budgeted to
CDL.
get their CDLs in 20%.
And really, for the certification advancement, we only are paying salaries and wages for that, so that would be travel and conference. Anyway, so here we are at machinery and equipment, because there's really nothing, electricity, propane, and cell phones, nothing really to talk about there. But that's where the jet truck is, and I'm not gonna lead this conversation, I'm gonna let someone else do that.
I've presented to you two options in the notes here. You could do a 5-year payment at $690,000 total, or 7 years for $735,000 total. The savings there in interest, if you guys are going to do this, I'd recommend just doing the 5-year.
Because we figured that would be about 45,000.
Yes, you're saving $45,000, shortening the term.
And that would be the 138,000.
$138,000 a year,
1 of 5.
1 of 5.
Are we ready to move on?
Well, I think we need the jet truck.
Oh, it's obviously needed. It's, you just can't get away
I
from shit
agree,
like
and
that.
I don't know if the state would take this into consideration, if we have something that helps us maintain our collection system, it seems like that would be a credit to us when they look at how much we are investing in maintaining our system, and maybe we would get a couple of points as far when they look at, do we deserve any loan forgiveness? I don't, this is a huge investment in our system so that we have a functioning system. So,
To add to that, not to cut you off, to add to that, I brought that up during the meeting today. To reiterate what Jason said, they're gotta fill out paperwork every time they have a problem, and it goes to the state. And in the past, what did you say, past 7 years?
I don't think Jason's been on this 7 years, so I'm not sure.
I can't remember how many years, but it is double the amount of failures that has been reported to the state. And my statement at that meeting today was, how do you expect somebody to come in and help you when you're not even helping yourself? I truly believe that. I mean, if it was our own family or kids, yes, we all kind of stick our necks out. But it's hard to help somebody that you noticeably see that they're not doing all that they can do for themselves. And if you add all that reporting in, you know for sure that the state is seeing that. People who are judging us on those situations are seeing all those reports. What is it?
Are those other 2 trucks able to be surplus?
Oh, they can get rid of both.
So they would like to keep the orange one as backup, that's the one we're currently fixing.
In my opinion, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, in my opinion, when putting Band-Aid on something that is worthy of having, but to be honest with you, the white one is a piece of junk. And if we don't get this new one, we will be putting more Band-Aids on both those trucks.
I'm just wondering how much we could get for them, or for.
The white truck,
the
we
white
thought
one.
maybe somebody might be interested in it for $25,000.
Is trade-in an option at all?
Jason confirmed with me today that the company we're buying it from does not want it, but they thought we could get in the 20 to 30 range.
Sold as is?
Yes,
That's not going anywhere, it's just getting rid of it.
but again, keeping the orange one as backup.
Can I delete the 7 years option from this?
It doesn't make sense to stretch it out that hard and spend that extra.
Ariel and I talked a little bit about just buying it outright and saving the interest, because we hate paying interest, but this fund is not in a position to do that
No, I
in this cash,
understand
so.
that.
If we already get it, it's the 105 payments. If you approve this and we're ready to move on, that's good, but eventually I'm gonna move these numbers into principal and interest, because that's where the payment will come out of, instead of machinery and equipment, so. But that's a good place to stick it for now. So, we're ready to move on?
Something else I confirmed today is that the people we buy it from will come and train our guys on using it. So wastewater, water, and maintenance will be part of that. Jason is looking into the warranty information as a result of the meeting we had.
I know this is not meant to drag anything out, but there's plan B. Because you've known me long enough, there's always a plan B to everything.
Craig is looking up, you were looking it up, you go ahead and tell them what you come up with.
You mean the trailer?
Yeah.
They sell a trailer that's diesel powered. It jets up to 24-inch pipes. It's tandem axle. I don't know, seems like Edgemont has a trailer, and that's all they've used for, well, the guy I talked to today worked there 17 years, and they've never had a problem with anything, jetting lines or anything in Edgemont with his trailer. And it's $48,000.
Jason says the trailer would not meet our needs for volume holding water or gallons per minute.
Of course he said that, he wants the truck.
Oh, fresh.
I'm the wrong person to tell you whether 10 gallons per minute will do it for
Oh,
us or
it's
not.
20.
And remember what we're doing here is we're approving budget authority. You still have all the time between now and next year before these dollars are available to be spent to do research and change your mind on specifics. Any purchase would still have to come in front of you. We have an ability to look at other options if they come up. So this doesn't lock us to do that. It just gives them the budget authority to replace the jet truck and a plan.
Gotta have money, gotta have budget authority, or you can't spend.
Correct. So
Like I
are we
said,
okay?
I'm not trying to rehash anything, I'm just, I.
No, you're asking
Plan B,
questions,
you
that's
know.
what we're all supposed to do. My honest opinion, dealing with the equipment, would be, to be honest with you, I would have never spent the money on the orange truck. I would have just, at that point, looked at what we had and bought something. Because we're got ourselves in a cycle of, we don't have the money to do certain things, or we can barely do them, or we gotta make payments, we don't like doing that, which nobody likes doing that, but that's the reality of life. Or you can spend what you would be making a payment on something and putting a Band-Aid on it just to reoccur the expense all over again within a year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole idea of jetting our lines is a maintenance issue that prolongs the useful life of all of the lines. Is that correct?
The entire collection.
So,
Just like they flush the fire hydrants, they should be flushing all of the lines.
so it's not just about this truck, it's about maintaining our system, hopefully to extend.
Do they have
its useful life.
a jet schedule of, we're doing Albany and Baltimore and whatever this week?
It would be nice to get one with a good reliable
I
truck.
will, but
They
they
don't.
don't have equipment.
He gone as far as when he took over his position, he graded the whole community. So he has it in a grid, and it's broke up into 4 sections the way I understood. But he said the biggest problem has always been either they don't have the equipment or they don't have the manpower, because you need them both at the same time. And when they have the manpower, you don't have the equipment, and vice versa. So, yeah, I'm not gonna argue the fact, that's a lot of money. But then again, non-maintenance, how many of us have reoccurred with many things in our community with non-maintenance because we don't have the equipment to do it? Or the equipment we have is failing. So,
So on
two
the other
ways of
side,
looking at this.
so on the other side of the fence, we do this and say, okay, how many years are we looking at now? 10, 15 years, 20 years?
Like a useful life,
Yeah,
is
on the
that
truck.
what you're asking?
With the amount, it was discussed, there'll be other communities, if we got this, they'd want to rent it.
No,
I would say absolutely not.
no.
But you stop and figure, if you're doing it in grids, it's not gonna have crap for miles, it's gonna be hours. That's what we have to look at. We're looking at hours, not mileage. So when they get a grid going, we really won't know what the hour usage is gonna be until we actually are totally into this.
And once it's all done once, it should be once.
But,
Should be.
but the thing is when we asked the question, well, how many times did we do that? And they said, we haven't been because we don't have what we need.
Will it be new information?
It should be a program that they do all summer long. When they're done jetting the grid that he's doing, start over again.
Yeah. It should be a non-stop program.
But they've been saying they're gonna have this program ever since I've been with the city, working with it as a councilman. They've never done it. So I'll see what happens.
As far as what gets purchased and what the price would be, Jason did mention today that to lock the price in, the company would want to know that, yes, we're going to purchase it come January 1st. So then it would be a matter of looking at, is this going to be what's purchased, the jet truck, or would it be something else? So that would need to be a discussion that would happen soon, figure out what the right purchase is, to lock in this price on the jet truck.
a short time to research what you're saying. I'm just,
I threw out questions to, warranty was one of my biggest things,
Right.
because you can think, when you buy a car, you can get a warranty, yeah, but in a case like this, when you have specialty equipment, you have to take into consideration each particular portion of that equipment is broke up into pieces, and those are the warranties that you're wanting to be looking at. You don't want to get a purchase warranty that gives you 30,000 miles. Well, you can have 30,000 miles in a year, basically, on most equipment, but we're talking hours here, so we need to know what the warranty is actually going to be covering and what the hourlies are, and do they actually have an extended
and I get
warranty?
that, like on my bus, I do 80 miles a day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stop and start and break, so yeah.
And then something like this, to be honest with you, the way everything is nowadays is computerized. How much of that warranty is going towards that electronics?
Is this a good time to take a break?
Okay.
I think so.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, we'll tell him not to.
Yep, we're back on.
Linda,
What?
we're live.
Okay. We
Okay.
left off at the jet truck, right?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Okay. So wastewater, 138 was, we decided the 5-year. We'll leave it in there. We've got some talking to do. We need to do it fast because we gotta finalize the agreement to get this pricing ASAP. Computer software also includes some waterwork money. I noticed the amounts are different, but I think there's a 17-month agreement, so this is just 2027's amount. If you agreed with it in water, you're agreeing with it in wastewater. And then we have your 14 of 20 SRF loan payments and the $125 transfer, $125,000 transfer out for $870,966 in the wastewater fund. Moving on to golf course, we did solid waste Tuesday night. Unless you want to go back to that. Remember, the golf course has one revenue fund, but 2 expense codes. So this is the Jason side, if we call it the actual course maintenance side.
Did we go over this already?
It's on.
We did that the night before. We did
Sorry.
Tuesday night. We're on the golf course 620 fund. It is starts on page 37 in your fund accounting. Okay.
It says solid waste, 32.
Oh, 14.92% increase. My page 37 is golf course. It's the end of solid waste fund. Are we all ready to move along?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do the golf.
Yep, not much to see here in the first several. The superintendent changed the formula for hours of certain employees, so there is a almost 15% increase, but it's not adding any employees. We can look year to date, and you may find you want to adjust that, but again, you're not working on any deficit in this fund since we took out the carts, so a lot of the top numbers are tied to that salaries and wage estimate.
Were the carts in this or the?
They were in the pro shop.
Pro shop.
Yep. The $1,000 increase on his R&M on all equipment and power tools, including the carts. If you remember, a couple years ago, we transferred all the cart repairs to this budget. A little bit more in his irrigation R&M, yes.
So any golf cart repair, there's only $700.
No, there's equipment repairs and maintenance, 9,000 above, and then that specific cart repairs and maintenance is to recover some bench seats on some carts to finish those that they didn't get done.
So they get an estimate already?
Yes.
Same guy.
No, they?
Same guy that used to work for the guy that did it the last time.
Yes, work for the guy.
They know what
We know the guy.
I know a guy.
We know a guy.
We know a guy.
up and down in the agricultural supplies between a few of those. If you have any questions, holler them out. Some are a little higher, some are a little lower. On average, they're about the same as years past. Yeah, I really just don't, besides the machinery and equipment and the improvement other than buildings, there's really not much.
How come they're only doing half of the fertilizer?
I don't think he's only doing half, he's just changing his program to, you know, spend some of the money in some of the other places, yeah. So it's just moving it around. He wasn't asked to reduce any of these amounts, and picks the dollar amounts for all of the agricultural supplies in his department. Improvement other than buildings, part of their improvement plan is extending the irrigation main line, and it's approximately 2,200 feet of 4-inch HDPE pipe. I'm not sure what black dashes stands for, but there's 20,000 there. And then he has 20,000 in machinery and equipment. He listed his priorities high to low. These are all used pieces of equipment. He is the employee who came forward with the idea to change our procurement policy to allow for some purchasing of some used equipment. And his priorities for 2027 include a cement mixer, box blade, rock bucket, micro trenching bucket, Connex box, rototiller, turf detacher, and land level with rippers. He thinks he can get all of those used for 20,000 or under.
I have a question. How come our department can't share equipment?
They
Because
absolutely
we've got
can.
a cement mixer we bought. Well, we bought them for doing the manhole covers.
Yeah. We can share. I mean, he has $500 estimated for a used cement mixer. We can share equipment. There's just sometimes an issue with needing something that someone else is using and not being able to prolong a project. So at $500, if it was a one-off thing, I'm sure he just
I spend that
borrow
at
it.
Dairy Queen every night.
So I don't need to dismiss the value of $500, but if he can pick one up for $500 and not have to align or arrange his repairs with the availability of a mixer we have somewhere else. So, any other questions on the golf course budget? 442,000 unchanged for this one. And then on this page is where we have listed the projected revenue, and we carry over the projected expenses from the next one, which is the pro shop, which we'll go through. And when we compare those two with the projected revenue, there's a surplus of a little over 45,000 in the golf course fund.
Mine starts workman's comp.
The pro shop starts on page 39.
Mine starts workman's comp.
Oh, this is your messed up page, so I think it's in here. I don't know what, here's the first part of it.
Well, you really just tore it
I
apart.
just ripped it apart, making it worse. So are we ready to move on to pro shop? Or did anybody have any questions in the golf course?
I got one question.
Yep.
So you said he realigned at the golf course wages and salaries. So is it the same thing with pro shop?
No, she just asked for more. It's very difficult to estimate seasonal help hours, because
No, I-
weather and availability. So, no, she did not change the calculation. She's requested 100,000 as opposed to 90,000.
Okay, just going by what you said with the golf course.
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, that's why there's no notes that say that in there. Hers is an 8.89% increase, and mostly just to allow for more part-time staff. Well, the first numbers are tied to that. Lightspeed, services and fees, that's our estimated credit card processing fees. That's the biggest part of the services and fees piece. Publishing, that's their advertising. Most of that is paid to Lightspeed as well. They are planning to do some miscellaneous building repairs and maintenance, including pop machine, drain, plumbing.
We kind of have two plans. We either have to fix the pop machine
that building ever get fixed out there?
Yeah,
Yeah, the foundation?
yeah, there's a big, huge wall.
Well, I got off,
Wall
Why
on-
is
wall on
it
front.
necessary to
Yeah.
do the outreach?
Did they get rid of the squirrel?
We can't police the
What?
fact that people.
Squirrel that was living in it.
If it's not
No,
on
they
the
reported
counter.
more.
Okay,
Right now,
good.
it's out.
Yeah, it's
I
like
just,
against
you
the
need
wall.
more nuts
outside.
running around out there.
I didn't know there was squirrels.
There was a squirrel that was giving John all sorts of grief out there.
Operation
Yep,
and service and fees.
yep.
Did I hear you correctly when you said that that was basically, both those basically went to the same outfit?
Lightspeed, that's our point of sale software. They do our website, they do email marketing, they have a digital marketing expert. Our e-commerce is the availability for people to buy things, even from our gift shop online. You can book tea times online. The branded app, I'm not quite sure what all that does, but yes, those are the same company. You'll also see Lightspeed down in your computer software as well. Those are the services they provide, and we fill it out of the respectful, the places where it's supposed to be represented. A lot of material for resale going down the line that really hasn't changed much from last year. We're always okay spending money to make money.
so we raised it 5,000 from last year.
Which one?
The
Material equipment for resale, yeah, looks like it. But the more we purchase, the more we have to sell.
Or have left over at the end of the year.
Yeah, we don't end up with a lot of leftover, they'll discount, there's a rotation.
It doesn't go bad.
Nope, and sodas and pops and beers unopened, they take back, so.
Yes.
So really, I'm gonna just jump through all that. There's 1,500 in signs. I'm not sure if they've spent much year-to-date on their signs. Cause it seems like we've been talking about needing some signs, yeah.
They've only spent
$70, and we have 1,500. Again, they don't have a deficit. They do have signs for carts and course rule display signs. That might be a little high, but if,
Hoping for one bigger sign outside the pro shop with the course rules, and then we haven't decided if it'll be like stickers or plaques, but something that goes in each cart with the rules as well.
They're making black stickers that pull off.
Well, yeah.
What a QR code.
telephone, electricity, the cell phone is, oh, no cell phone charges, but they do want a new iPod for the POS. I thought we just got rid of one. iPad.
We didn't get rid of the iPad, we gave it to them.
Oh,
We took the
so do
Verizon,
they need this 180 that's in here under other current expense for?
it's an old iPad, I'm not sure where it came from when we gave it to them. We just recently took the Verizon service off of it.
Okay. Well, we'll leave, it's only $180. We took out the cards, the computer software is where you see the rest of the Lightspeed software charges and Black Hills Sentinel one, yeah?
The cards.
Yes.
Why were they originally requesting the 10 cards?
There were a few instances this last summer where we were out of carts and we had to close the T-sheet until more people got back. There were tournaments where we chose to instead rent extra carts so we could get more participants. But we did not have good data on how many times we ran out of carts. So we're gonna spend next year collecting that, like, did we close the T-sheet for 1 hour or 5 hours?
Was it one
To try
day
to-
or 25
Try to
days?
justify that cost a little bit more, because 10 carts was looking at 75,000.
Okay, so we really don't know how much revenue we may have lost by
Yeah.
not having enough
Yep.
cards.
We have a rough idea, but there's no solid number to that.
So are we,
We felt it could wait.
Okay, thank you.
so
They're
we're
not
gonna
gonna
get
get
the
stolen this
75?
time, right?
We did, yeah.
So that's good.
That's an arrow, they won't get stolen this time.
I think it was 75.5, but that's
Yeah.
zero. So unless there's anything else on that budget to discuss, their total after removing the 75.5 for the carts is 294,633. And the golf course Works Fund has a projected profit of $45,367, but they don't consider that a profit, that's capital improvement money.
You said 294,633.
I said, $294,633, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We ready to move on to Evans Fund?
Just a minute, I gotta get my numbers.
Okay, yep, no problem.
If you guys are quick, we can be out of here by 7 o'clock. Sun's out.
Okay. now we're going
She
with-
She is, she said 7, we're gonna try for it. All right, Fund 621, Evans Plunge Fund starts on page 41. This fund, I've said it already once this year, thank you so much for approving the increases. I know it's hard to do that, it's a hard thing for you to do, it's a hard pill for the users to swallow, but we were going in the wrong direction. And our projected 2027 budget shows you that we still have some work to do. We are getting closer, we are on year 7 of 10 to pay off our purchase debt with the bonds. That would be great, that would go a long way.
Is this 7 of 10 or?
2027 is 7 of 10.
How come the wages are going up that high?
Well, we raise wages every year, we've talked about
That
that
much?
before in the other funds. And so each year, we try to estimate, in the perfect world, they're open every day except for Tuesday, they're fully staffed with all the employees that they need. And our projected estimate in that scenario is $538,330. So we know that doesn't really work like that, and they don't have a lot of extra money. So every year for the past several years, with the department head's consent, we lower that estimate to a more realistic figure, and this year we have $480,000. So that is a $50,000 decrease from what we had estimated originally, so. It's hard to estimate those wages, we give increases. We typically are in a position at the plunge where we need more staff, so.
Always.
The rest of those numbers following from there down to services and, no, down to insurance are all related to payroll, calculated off that 480 figure. They also have credit card fees and other associated fees. All these are the same as last year. I think that's funny, you must have done that, Ariel, put it at $24,995 instead
Oh,
of
I
25.
did sum the actuals from the notes.
I got 24,895.
Why am I type that in wrong there, but she's at $24,995, that's funny, I did just put 25 again. It is in here $24,995, so we'll fix that. Somewhere else I must have an error of
24,995?
Yes, I see that one says 8, this says 9, I would have put it in at 25, but
That means you're off somewhere else.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, I'm $5 off somewhere else, because my bottom number, well, we'll figure it out,
Hate it when finance officers
Are
are off
off.
that far.
$5.
Yeah,
Let me see it, wait.
No,
There
see,
is,
that's $100.
$100.
there is $10,022,904 accounted for in these papers, so I'll take that. Anyway, $24,995 is the total there. They have marketing and advertising. They have some building repairs planned for the year. It's small. The double doors on the north of the building need replaced. They're estimating 10 for that. And then 2,000 for facade upkeep and general maintenance. Those numbers make me sad, but we are
Was
trying
the
to.
roof dealt with, the leaky roof?
no,
No, we're in kind of an odd situation with the roofer that did it, because we're kind of under warranty, and we're kind of not, he kind of only works on a roof when he's already passing through town. It's really not a good deal. We're working on quotes on what it would take to get that roof right. We might have to do something similar to what we're doing with the Mueller Center, so.
You talking about that, where the weight room's at? That's where
Yes.
still leaking, right?
Well, the problem is the leak could be over here, but
Well,
it's
that's
in
what
the
I'm
ceiling,
saying is that
dropping
if you
over
take all that
here.
rock off there
Yeah.
and you replace the existing decking, check the lower rock to see what it is, put that back on, put your probably your asphalt, put that down on felt, and put I don't know if you wanna go back with rubberized or if you wanna go back with rock, but either one should solve the problem, and you wanna check that flashing on your face unit. So I don't know, no disrespect, but I don't know what the problem is, it's that, it sounds simple, but it is. So, requires a lot of work.
I have roof on the bottom of this spreadsheet with a question mark. We had talked about that. There's not a lot of extra money either in their cash available or in their 2027 budget. So we know it's something we might have to address, but we're hoping that
Well, we got insurance money for it and then we didn't use it.
they did use their insurance money to pay salaries and wages and operating expenses. That Evans Punch keeps its money in its own bucket, so. And you can't justify holding money aside for, no, that happens in lots of businesses, but
I never see that.
where they don't use insurance money.
I'm gonna say it like this, whenever that happened, the last person that was there was not happy with me coming looking at the roof. The new lady, would she be happy if I went and looked at the roof?
I mean, we'll welcome anyone to look at it, but we haven't been steered
Well, I'm just saying
by
for,
letting non-professionals tell us what to do with the roof.
I've been a roofer since 1988, and I've
And I
had
did
my
not
own
mean
business in
that.
town, okay? But I'm saying, what I'm saying is what I did with the police station, until they could get a new roof. If you remember, I went up there and I found all the leaks, and then they went and put a new roof on. I went up there and I had one of the city workers with me, and we looked around, and if I found anything that even looked like a leak, if that solved the problem until it came time to get that roof, then you can extend that out some more. I'm just
My
saying there's an
opinion
option.
is, just as a councilman, is you have the right to go and inspect that because of the chair that you're sitting in. You represent citizens of the hot springs. We're spending your money.
Thank you, Dave.
Be safe.
And Ward One.
I've been up there looking under the roof, it ain't dangerous,
Okay.
it's flat.
You can go with me.
All right, so those are the building repairs budgeted. Equipment repairs, the facility main sub pump replacement at 3,000, hot tub steam room circuit panels 5,000, and then bearings, filters, et cetera, at 1.2 thousand for 9,200. The circuit panels and these pumps can go out at any time. They're very important. They're not functioning right now, but it's important to have. It is something that goes out often and they need to repair, so. we're
We
just
replace
planning.
the circuit panels multiple times a year.
So what is the issue of all the panels going in?
I believe it would be the moisture.
I would have to agree. So they do make things to encase those, so they're not so. Has anybody looked into that?
I don't
But
know
it's-
if they work well in like the steamer or the sauna, you know what I mean?
And I would say, as good as Tom is, if we could just ask that, and if it's possible, he will get it done.
Because we have the same problem in the wash house that has hot water that the fruit goes through, and it sits on the circuit all by itself. And we thought it was crazy, but it proved to be true. They have an encasement, and they put it over all your circuit boards, and we haven't had trouble.
Okay. Mention it.
So far.
Miscellaneous supplies at 14,000. They need a new save, some TVs. These are also small, I feel silly even mentioning it, but just to tell you how they came up with that total. Pool ropes, suit spinners, stainless steel kitchen table, lifeguard tube sleeves, and vacuum.
What is a suit spinner?
It takes the water, it's a water extractor, so after you've done swimming and you're in the
Oh, is
changing
that for
room
the
with the
rent?
plunge,
Okay.
yep, you can dry out your suit. There's materials for resale in here. There's small amounts of purification chemicals, there's food for resale. There's some interest in management and HR safety training, so there's a little bit in travel and conference. subsidy, we're not gonna do anything about. Machinery and equipment, recommended new workstation, and then priority high to low, a pizza oven, some outdoor furniture, new water fountain, and a treadmill. There's our Sportsman, which is their point of sale software annual fee, and then there's your loan payment, and we're at $989,850 against projected revenue of $791,050.
There is one thing I would like to bring up before we jump out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I see that, so it's 8:30.
Landscape and material. We just did a walkthrough with Corps of Engineers where the slide is just outside the fence and going into the fence. It sure would be nice if they would at least maintain a path through there. Means that is their facility and they have people working on that. And if nobody could figure that out, I can walk over there and point it out to them. But that's all part of their property.
Building and grounds maintenance.
Yeah, and it's actually growing into the fence onto their side where the slide is.
We know what that backside, yeah.
That
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that same, in
I'm
that
sure
same
that's just
area,
asking them to do it.
they had a lot of nitpicking to do, which I could understand just for the simple fact that you have a facility right there and they're letting all that go. And it's adding to what is going on the complaint sheet that the Corps of Engineers have.
Ariel, you were on that walk along too, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that, I just don't know that it would take any extra money.
No, but I'm bringing it up.
I mean,
That would be
not
in-house.
one.
Being we are talking about landscaping
In-house.
materials and stuff like that, then, pull a stake out and get some of it done with the people.
Is it gonna cost us to have that pool, all those rocks moved, or is the city gonna do that? Because they said that needs to be done right away.
The man-made pool down in the river.
Yeah, that is something that they were really stuck on.
They said, that's taboo, that shouldn't even be there like that.
It needs done.
Oh, you talking about where the
I
pipe
can't
comes, I
imagine.
watched people, I'm driving my bus, I watched people
Yeah,
out there
Can't
making that
imagine
thing.
we would
Tourists.
contract it
But
out.
that originally started with an old employee from.
But we need to get it
Needs
done,
done.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was that
Yeah.
big fella, he really was.
He didn't like that at
No,
all.
he didn't like that at all.
He says, that's gotta go.
Maybe after we do the cleanup, it'd be nice to post some pictures and say, look, I know you might think this is fun, but it gets the city in trouble with the Corps of Engineers, and you cannot go and divert or pool or change
Oh,
the
and
flow.
when I get the report with the picture and then the notes, I do intend on posting it with our cleanup.
And maybe on our,
Proof.
yeah,
And then when you
good
get
deal.
down to signs right there, you might have a sign made to let the patrons there know that going down in the river and making your own private little water hole is,
We could plant a whole bunch of poison ivy right in there, so if they go down there, look at, and they
Oh,
don't do
for
it
sure,
again.
Not as of now. So unless you see any places to reduce this budget, I think we're wrapped up because the 198,780 is what we have in the 212 fund, and I'm not sure where you'd cut from this budget without cutting your ability to make money.
So we're not having
Don't we have to
any
change that
lifeguards
amount?
or.
Yes, it's 830.
$100?
We're
Yeah.
good.
It's
Everything was
989,
good there?
830.
First time ever, second time ever.
get a couple of signs that say, enter at your own risk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're not talking about inside the fund, right, because we've hashed that out before, we don't want to do that. Okay, so I believe that unless there's anything else that we have to discuss, our 212, we're not changing the subsidy for the plunge, so I think that we've got it all wrapped up.
Wow.
Really?
6 minutes to spare.
Unless there's more you want to talk about.
Well, now that we're talking.
We're taking how much out of
What
it?
do we set for this?
One, for the plunge, the subsidy is 198,780.
Right, but,
Total?
so we're done total, right? We're done.
Yeah.
So what do we,
All balanced?
we're not balanced.
Yeah,
we're
we've
taking-
balanced to what we agreed to. Different funds have different amounts. So we have our general fund has a deficit of 164,950.
Okay,
Our 211 fund has a deficit of 12,100. That's where we're doing over $30,000 in building repairs for the Mueller Center.
okay.
Our 602 fund, oh no, our 212 fund has a deficit or a loss of 69,702. That's the one we were gonna go back to if we had any changes. And then our water fund, we got to zero, so those are our only deficits.
What was the 211?
211 is 12,100.
What's the total, we have total?
I don't, because we do it by fund. You can.
Give me a second, and I'll give the total.
Did someone earlier say they wanted to go back to the donations?
We could if you want
Or
to.
did I
Wait,
mishear
Misty.
that?
I might have said that.
We're good there.
It says right there, without subsidy, and it says that it's got a question mark on the roof, but his has it on his computer.
Let me see what you're at.
12, wait a minute.
Is that in the funds?
Yeah, this is on
Or
my.
the view?
Yeah, you both have roof. Here, it's just your, there it is. You just need to get over to these
So
columns.
the 12,000, we're looking at that as a one-time expense.
Fine.
211.
What,
246, 752.
But I don't wanna say that we balance the budget with a deficit of that, because that's not true. It's by fund.
Right.
So,
Because you're not counting the surplus that went into
Right.
funds that are positive.
yep. So, that's why we don't total it that way.
So
It's
Misty,
not accurate
Mayor?
representation.
are you happy with where we're at?
I can live with where we're at. There's some things I probably would have chosen differently, but
Yeah, me
it's not
too.
my choice, it's yours, so,
Me too.
but I can live with where we're at.
So Ariel, were you right?
If you guys adjourn within the
I
next
make a
4
motion, we
minutes.
adjourn.
Second?
Is everybody happy with this?
First time we've ever.
Discussion?
This is.
We've got a motion and a second to adjourn.
I did, I got her.
Discussion? You have a discussion?
I'm going ta-da.
What did we come up with for Prairie Transit? Were we
15.
15? Okay.
Not enough.
Any other discussion?
5,000 more than we gave them last year, 10,000 more than we gave them last year.
We're the same place.
Dad, why don't you come go for a
Yep.
ride with me
1025.
sometime, okay? I'll say it that way.
Well, I know it's a necessity.
I'm just saying. So we're done now, so yeah.
Well, we haven't all voted and we've done that, so.
Yeah, well.
Any other questions?
Huh?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you, everyone.